outside you're green, but you must be there.
No, it shows that you're eating your own kale. On this cover crop, we can see we've got this discolouring of the lower leaves, and this purplish shade is a classic phosphate deficiency. What we're expecting to see here, I'll pull that off so you can see, what we're expecting to see here when we're just measuring the bricks of one of these leaves is a lower level than the adjoining crop. We're going to talk about why there's a difference where there's none of these purple leaves. We would expect to see a lower bricks level because phosphate is the most important single mineral. When we look at the little sugar factory, the chemistry of the sugar factory, it's all phosphate, 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 all these phosphate-based enzymes. And so, you know, we're not going to make too much sugar, you wouldn't think, in this leaf. So we're just going to squeeze a little bit of juice, and we're going to check.
Some more leaf, maybe.
Are you using phosphate deficient leaf there?
Yeah, we have got to put two phosphate deficient leaves on there, but hopefully it's not too dry to get something out of it. Without that milk fluid, we'll just see. We've seen here that we can't get any out of this. Now we'll go over to this plant, this stuff where there's no phosphate deficiency, and who knows, there might even be a little more juice in the leaf because it's not so dried out. Definitely got more moisture, but whether it's still going to be a demulching problem, we'll see. So that's a bricks of 10, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we're chasing a bricks of 12, but I mean 10 at this time of the year.
And it's also very fuzzy.
Yes, it's nice and fuzzy, so there's some calcium in there, so the legumes want calcium and we've got calcium. So that's why the vetch is looking so healthy, I guess. It is healthy.
Yeah.
What we're trying to demonstrate here is we're chasing the bricks as high as possible, but hopefully above 12. This area where the kale has grown almost double from the other side, one of the big defining features is that there's very few leaves that are purple. Basically, that increase in biological activity that came from the old bale of hay that melted over this area and generated such a huge response, that fired up the biology that was breaking that down, and that's provided a biological delivery of phosphorus. It means breaking the bond between phosphate and calcium and delivering those minerals into the plant. Now we can see that calcium's there, we've got a nice fuzzy line, and what we're hoping now is that, or looking for now, is to see if where we've got the purple leaf we'd expect less sugar delivery and a lower bricks. But good here and a good healthy plant with no purple leaves. And it shows just how powerful it is to bring in some organic matter, so it's sort of like a compost or emulsion effect. It's really a dramatic difference for a very low cost for an old bale of straw.
Yeah.
And that's something of a great lesson to anyone considering growing any crop. You can have some organic matter or some previous crop residues. Anything that can create that feed into the biology story can make that much difference.
And yeah, it wouldn't be an issue if that bale of straw had fungi and mould and that kind of thing on it? Would that be a problem?
No, because the organisms in the soil usually sort themselves out pretty quickly, yeah.
Okay, so you can use anything.
Yeah, the sort of things that you might feed to an animal with aflatoxin doesn't apply in the soil. Even E. coli doesn't once it hits the soil because the other organisms just come in and have a feed and balance the thing out fairly quickly anyway. So bricks at about 6, 7. So
compared to
yeah,
10.
Yeah, 7 compared to 9 or 10 was it? 10.
What is it,
Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
So it's a 30% reduction basically, in bricks associated with one having some biology and some extra phosphate, and the other not. So it's quite a powerful difference. Have a look.
Sure.
And is there any difference in the definition of the line?
I didn't check that.
it's completely defined.
So yeah, there's
Look at the definition.
Sharp.
yeah.
It's very sharp.
Yes, it is sharper than the other one. Have a look yourself.
I noticed the other one is really almost cloudy.
Yeah, and that one's quite more distinct, isn't it?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're looking at is looking at this bricks where we can obviously see we've got more calcium and more phosphorus. The assumption from a biological perspective is that we're talking about fungi, and the very high likelihood that this bale of straw, that fibrous material, has generated a little bit of a fungal explosion in that block. And fungi, of course, are constantly releasing acids, biological acids, that break the bond between calcium and phosphate and make both those minerals more available. And hence we have the two most important minerals for photosynthesis with a higher bricks, 30% higher bricks on the straw-treated block. I mean, if we could show it, it's actually 11, this one, but it's fuzz, so you can hardly tell, as you'll see there.
Okay, you want to take a picture?
It might not be so easy to get that picture, but have a look and you'll see. that 11 bricks there. Well, the defined line has a calcium deficiency. It's actually a generalised mineral deficiency because calcium is the trucker of all minerals, and if you're calcium deficient, you're going to have this this very sharp distinction. And what you're looking for always is the fuzzier the better.
So fuzz is good.
Yeah, fuzz is good is the word we're looking for, and that's what we've got here. We've got a bricks of 11, a super fuzzy line versus quite distinct calcium and phosphorus deficiency on the other block, and all about just bringing in a bale of straw and changing that yield potential. It's almost double, and changing the whole biology and the nutrient density of the food. This is where you want to get your kale salads from, because this is the nutrient dense stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, it's way softer.
yeah.
Oh, just the earthworm.
Let's have a look what we got here. Oh, look at this.
Look at these earthworms. One. Wow.
3, 4. We got a nice little earthworm there. Another
There's
one there. Another one there.
One,
under
two,
that.
3, 4. Look at
Another
this.
one here.
This guy, look at him.
5. There's a nice fat one. Remember what we're chasing, 25 earthworms per shovelful. We've got 11. We're halfway there almost.
12. Fine. Get excited about worms.
Another one on the right, a bit float.
Where?
So-
Yeah, I mean in the other soil we couldn't find 3.
No, that's a Hybrix plant feeding more sugars down at the root zone, and of course creating a lot more biology that the earthworms have come to feed on. And what we're talking about, that looks good. What we're talking about there is a little fertiliser machine that makes many more times of all the key minerals, including NPK, than what's in the surrounding soil, and that produce these wonderful organisms that are quite unique to the earthworm. They incubate a vast range of bacteria that are only found in their gut. They breed them in their gut, and of course they poo them out with their castings into your soil. And so they're really amazing. And they've got a little gland on the front that produces calcium carbonate. So you've got a lime works and a fertiliser machine and a biological factory all in one, and you don't get much better. And we just found 11 of, how many did we get? 14.
17.
17, wonderful. Wonderful story, and that's what this done to the plants. I mean, it's so easy to harvest, and you know, that there, which took 1 minute, I mean, that's, you know, it's got to be a few dollars worth in any country. I mean, that's far more than what you get in our country for $4.
And kale compared to spinach?
Far, far higher nutrient density.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot better.
So it's
Spinach has got plenty of iron, but this has got plenty of everything.
So is this considered a superfood or
Yeah,
not?
it's right up there. It's the highest antioxidant vegetable.
Highest antioxidant vegetable.
Yeah. Okay, that'll probably do us. It's going to be a nice kale salad.
Fantastic.
Beautiful kale salad coming up. So the secret with a kale salad, most people steam or stir fry or whatever with this wonderful high antioxidant vegetable, but the real secret is to take some lemon juice, to separate off the leaf from the stem, and take the leaf and massage some lemon juice and a bit of salt, good sea salt, into it, and leave it sitting for 20 minutes. You've got the most tender, delicious salad you'll ever eat. Give it a go. Yeah. Cooked the sure. And you can see how fast it is to harvest.